In this video, I will be sharing with you 10 most wanted criminals in Nigeria and the crimes that they committed. Some of these criminals are politicians, public figures, and celebrities who have been declared wanted by security agents. These criminals have been on the most wanted list of the EFCC and FBI for their crimes against humanity. Some of these criminals are drug addicts, cyber criminals, fraudsters, corrupt government officials who embezzle public funds, and many more. These criminals have stolen more than $30 billion from Nigerian Treasury and American Treasury, and they have been declared wanted by several security agencies like the EFCC and the FBI. So therefore, after a careful study and research, I present to you 10 most wanted criminals in Nigeria and the crimes that they committed. Number 1. Ijeoma Ogwa. Ijeoma Ogwa is declared wanted by the EFCC for $10 million advance fee fraud and employment scam. Ijeoma Ogwa is wanted by the EFCC in a case of criminal conspiracy, employment scam, and obtaining money by false pretense. She allegedly induced the petitioner to pay into her account the whopping sum of $10 million and another 4 million naira for a fictitious federal government appointment. The first keen fugitive is 62 years old and hails from Owerri in Imo State. She is fluent in English and Igbo language. Her last known address was at number 20 Oladele Oke Street in Okota, Lagos, till she flew to an unknown location for fear of being caught by the EFCC. Number 2. Itse Theresa. Itse Theresa is wanted by the EFCC for a 1 billion naira contract fraud. Itse Theresa is a principal suspect in 2 cases of fraud, contractual malpractices, and obtaining goods under false pretense to the tune of 1 billion naira and $1.4 million respectively. She allegedly received about 1 billion naira from a government agency as payment for contracts which she failed to properly execute. Furthermore, the suspect was alleged to have fraudulently collected aircraft parts worth over $1.4 million from a Russian company and ran away with the payment. The suspect failed to honor the EFCC invitation and is currently on the blacklist of the EFCC. Number 3. Suzan Elia. Suzan Elia is an Australian fugitive wanted for 20 million naira forest fraud. She is declared wanted by the FBI and EFCC in a case of criminal breach of trust and obtaining money by false pretense. The suspect allegedly collected 20 million naira from the complainant, promising to help change the money to US dollars. However, after receiving the money, all efforts to reach the suspect failed. Suzan Elia, who is currently 41 years old and dark in complexion, is wanted by the FBI and EFCC. Her last known address was at number 11 Vanham Street, Maitama in Abuja, till she flew to an unknown location for fear of being arrested by the FBI and EFCC. Number 4. Mrs. Ngozi Olejeme. Mrs. Ngozi Olejeme is on the run for diverting 69 billion naira public fund and money laundering. The former chairman of Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund has been living in the shadows since she fled the country to avoid arrest for allegedly diverting 69 billion naira alongside a former managing director of the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund, Mr. Umar Abubakar. They were said to have stolen the money by awarding bogus contracts and through other financial malpractices. They allegedly committed the crime with Mrs. Theresa Itu. Mrs. Ngozi Olejeme, who hails from Asaba in Delta State, is a principal suspect in 2 cases of fraud. She was declared wanted by the EFCC and went into hiding while her shorty was detained by the EFCC. Number 5. Aisha Chima. Aisha Chima is a banker who hails from Maiduguri in Borno State. She is wanted by the EFCC for money laundering. She has been on the run from the EFCC since 2016 to date for allegedly laundering money believed to be proceeds of crime. In November 14, 2016, she was convicted on a 10-count charges bordering on money laundering. Investigations revealed that the suspect laundered money which was proceeds of crime through the accounts of her siblings and daughter, as well as through the purchase of vehicles and stocking of a provision shop. While her case was still ongoing at the Federal High Court, the suspect jumped bail, which made the judge of the court to issue bench warrant for her arrest. Number 6. Doron Omansky. Doron Omansky is an Israeli who speaks both Yoruba and English and also Hebrew fluently. He is on the run for fraud and forgery. Doron Omansky was believed to have fled Nigeria after he was indicted for obtaining money by false pretense, stealing, forging, and altering. The 57-year-old allegedly committed the crime alongside Hannah Sobowale and Ahmed Ariyomi, who are also on the run. Doron Omansky last known address were at Signature Suite in Asaba Delta State and number 52A Tunde Adebola Street in Victoria Island, Lagos, till he flew to an unknown location for fear of being caught by the FBI and EFCC. Number 7. Valentine Oyo. Valentine Oyo was declared wanted by the FBI for cyber crimes. The 31-year-old was declared wanted alongside with 38-year-old Chukwudi Ibokwe as the lead suspect in the 3-year FBI investigation of romance scam, business email compromise, wire fraud, and money laundering. At the end of the investigation, about 80 Nigerians were indicted, with some of the accomplices still in Nigeria. Oyo and Ibokwe's role was to ensure the laundering of money deposited by victims into a bank account or a money service account. He went into hiding after he was declared wanted by the FBI. Number 8. Idris Usman. Idris Usman is accused of complicity in the misappropriation of 1 billion naira Shopee fund. He is declared wanted by the EFCC for alleged complicity in misappropriation of public funds, money laundering, and abuse of office. Idris Usman is a contractor in Katsina State and also the managing director of Idris Kwado and Sons Limited, as well as Aminu Diko and Sons Limited. According to the EFCC, the suspect was given a contract of 1 billion naira by the immediate past governor of Katsina State, Ibrahim Chima, who is facing trial for alleged 11 billion naira fraud. Idris Usman, who hails from Katsina State, went into hiding ever since and became one of the most wanted criminals in Nigeria. Number 9. Anthony Onetule. Anthony Onetule is wanted by the FBI and EFCC for cybercrime and hacking. Anthony Onetule, who is currently 34 years old, was declared wanted by the United States Federal Bureau of Intelligence and the Nigerian Economic and Financial Crime Commission for allegedly hacking into a computer and stealing private and classified informations, compromising companies' emails, and causing damages on a large scale. Anthony Onetule was born in Lagos. He went into hiding and became one of the most wanted criminals in Nigeria after he was declared wanted by the EFCC and the FBI. Number 10. Toolo. Toolo, whose real name is Government Ekpomopolo, was the leader of the Niger Delta militant, also known as the Niger Delta Avengers. He is wanted by the EFCC for a 45.9 billion naira fraud. The EFCC filed a 40-count charges against Toolo and 9 others on offense bordering on fee fraud and money laundering. Justice Ibrahim Buba of a federal high court in Lagos issued a bench warrant against Toolo and declared him wanted in January 14, 2016, after he declined a summons issued on him by the judge to appear in court in connection with the few fraud charges leveled against him and 9 others by the EFCC. Buba ordered the law enforcement agencies to produce Toolo before him on or before January 8, 2016 for him to answer the charges, but rather than appear in court on January 8, 2016, he went into hiding.